probably gonna be in the kitchen till pretty late in the afternoon, but that's okay. It's worth it because I'm not gonna have to do this again for the next month or so. I am currently on a weight loss phase. All the recipes you're gonna see today are weight loss friendly, they are macro friendly. All of the recipes are gonna be high in protein, and I'm talking like minimum 35 grams per serve, minimum. Secondly, they are going to be sort of lower in fats as well, so there will be some healthy fats in the recipes as well, but it's going to be on the lower end because I am trying to, I'm trying to burn fat, I'm trying to lose weight, okay? Yeah, and there's gonna be a lot of variety as well. It's gonna be pretty balanced as well. I'm gonna make 2 beef dishes. I'm gonna make 1 chicken dish and 1 tuna dish. And each dish that I'm gonna make like a big batch, and there's gonna be maybe 6 to 8 serves in each one. And then I'm gonna divvy everything up in containers, and I'm gonna freeze everything, and we will be sorted for the entire month. Last time my meal prep was actually 6 weeks ago. I had enough food to last me literally 6 weeks. I have a freezer outside in my garage. It's a huge freezer as well, like lots of space in that freezer, and I can store a lot of food in there. All right, so we're gonna make a start. The first thing we're gonna make today is beef and eggplant ragu. If you don't like eggplant, you can use any other vegetable as well. Like you can make capsicum, beef ragu, or I don't know, any like kind of like fleshy vegetables you can use, or zucchini even you could use. But I really like eggplant. I really love eggplant. So I've got everything that I need here. So obviously we've got eggplant. I'm not going to use all 3 eggplants in this ragu. I'm probably just going to use 1.5 or 2 or something like that. I've got some onions here, some garlic, beef, got some crushed tomatoes here as well. I'm not going to use all 3, but I'm probably going to need that for other meal preps I'm going to be making later on as well. And I've got some beef stock and salt and pepper, olive oil, and I've got some red wine as well. You do need red wine to make ragu. So yeah, this is basically all the ingredients you need to make beef and eggplant ragu, and it is so easy, so simple, and you can make a really big batch. So that's why I really like making ragu for a meal prep. So we're gonna start by cooking the eggplant first. Ooh, that's slippery. I need to, that's dangerous. I'm gonna put a tea towel underneath so it doesn't slip. Forgot to do that. This is a brand new, still a little bit slippery though. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, so the way I cut the eggplant is I cut it in like really big chunks, because if it's small chunks, it's just gonna cook too quickly and it's sort of gonna go like mushy in your food. I like the eggplants like chunky, if that makes sense. So I don't want it to go like all mushy. So that's like how big. Actually, that's a bit too big. Maybe like that. So this is how thick I want each pieces of eggplant, because I actually really like eggplant. It's one of my favorite vegetables, and I want to be able to like taste the eggplant in the meal, like in the dish. And in my opinion, there's no point using vegetables you don't like in a dish that you're going to meal prep with. Like if you don't like that vegetable, then don't cook with it. Like I don't like these the idea of like hiding vegetables in your food, like putting a lot of vegetables in like stews and sauces and stuff to hide them in there. It's like, I don't like that. Although, do whatever works for you, obviously, but for me, I'd rather, if there's something that I don't like, I'd rather not cook with it. Like there's so many other options. So yeah, let's do that. Right, so I'm gonna pop that in here just so I can season it. And so I'm gonna do salt, 1, 2, 3, 4, and pepper, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then olive oil. With the olive oil, I need to use a spoon to measure it because I am tracking so macros and stuff. With the eggplant, I'm gonna track the eggplant as well, but I'm just gonna log it as 1 eggplant. But with the oil, I'm gonna measure it with a spoon. So I just got this. This is so, I really like this, by the way. I think I got that from Kmart. And it does spray as well. So that's 1 spoon of olive oil. So let me close that. And if you want to spray it, I'm going to spray a little bit as well on here. The only problem with spraying it, I have no idea like how much oil that is, but I'm guessing that's no more than 1 tablespoon. I'm thinking maybe half a tablespoon or something like that. Let's mix. Okay, and then let's put it here. I like the skin to be underneath because the skin is less likely to stick. And I do like using glass as well because, yeah, it's less likely to stick. Okay, so that's ready to go in the oven. Go. So I'm gonna do, my oven can, I can fit 2 trays at a time. So I'm gonna do 2 trays. Three of the eggplants are now in the oven and I've still got this one to do, but I'm gonna wait till after I take one out and then I'll put this. In the meantime, I'm going to start marinating the beef. It's really easy to marinate, just salt, pepper, olive oil, that's it. Use that knife. But I like to let it marinate for like maybe 30 minutes. We'll see how we go. I might not do 30 minutes because we've got a lot of cooking to do today, so I don't want this to take too long. So what beef is that? I use diced beef casserole. Yeah, it's not super lean. Like I can see little bits of fat on the meat as well, but that's okay. It's actually more tasty like that as well. Like I prefer a little bit more fat in my meat. I know it's a matter of preference. Like my partner, for example, he prefers like the leaner cuts, but I prefer like a little bit of fat on my beef. Salt. Pepper. Lots of pepper, and then we're gonna go in with olive oil as well. I'm thinking 2 tablespoons because that's that's a kilogram of beef. That's gonna make 8 meals. So yeah, 2. 1, 2. I'm just gonna mix with my hands. Oh, who's here? Who's coming? One sec. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit for about, I don't know. I'm gonna chop the onion and garlic. So yeah, till whenever I'm done with that. So maybe 15, let's just say 15-20 minutes. I'm gonna let that sit over here, let it do its thing. Okay, actually I'm gonna move that over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So now we're gonna go ahead and chop some onion and some onion and some garlic. Okay, let's get a knife. And I'm gonna place them in a bowl here. Okay, so what I like to do when I chop onions is I cut it in half first, and then I sort of put it away for a bit just so it doesn't make me cry, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna like pop that over there for about 5 minutes, and during this time I'm gonna start chopping some garlic. I have like random bits of garlic in there, so I'm gonna use that first. Ew. Don't know if this is any good. Yeah, that whole thing was bad. So this is annoying. I only have 4 cloves of garlic now, but that's okay. I can use I've got garlic infused olive oil as well that I can use, so then I have to use that. It works okay. I mean, my eyes are not tearing up or anything right now. It could be worse, but it doesn't work 100%. This garlic smells so good. So I basically just mix the garlic and the onion together because I'm gonna cook them together anyway. Oh my gosh, my eyes are killing me. The first batch of eggplant is gonna be ready in 6 minutes. So I'm actually just gonna start cooking now. I'm gonna start with searing the beef. I'm gonna do that in batches, and then I'm gonna start making the ragu, like the sauce and everything. Okay, so the ragu is now simmering on the stove, and basically the longer I leave it to simmer the better, especially if it's at like a really low temperature. Ragu is gonna simmer for 2 to 3 hours, and during that time I'm going to be making the other food, like the other meals. I haven't added the eggplant yet because if I put the eggplants in now and I leave it in for 2 hours, the eggplants are gonna go mushy and I don't like that. So the eggplants are not gonna go in until late. I was gonna get started on the next meal, but I'm starting to get hungry right now, and so I've decided to have lunch first and then resume meal prepping. So I'm gonna have a meal that I've meal prepped already like 6 weeks ago. So I'm gonna have beef bolognese and pasta. The pasta is currently cooking here. Prepped these a while ago, on the 10th of April actually, and we currently, what's the date? I don't even know. We're in June right now. So I prepared this beef bolognese 2 months ago. Yeah, so yeah, this beef bolognese, I made, there's 2 serves. Well, there were 2 serves in here, and I took 1 serve to work yesterday, and I'm gonna have another serve today with a pasta. So all the meals that I'm gonna be making today, like I said, it's gonna be high in protein, slightly lower in fats, but I'm not gonna be making carbs today. So all the meals that I'm gonna make today is stuff you eat with things like pasta, or you can have it with rice and stuff like that. I'm not gonna meal prep pasta, you know what I mean? Like, pasta takes 5 minutes to cook, rice takes me 10 minutes to cook, so I don't meal prep pasta and rice and that sort of thing, because it doesn't freeze well, first of all, and if you keep it in the fridge, it's only gonna keep 3 days in the fridge anyway. So I don't bother meal prepping rice and meal prepping pasta. Those are things that I can just make whenever I need it, right? Like today, for example, I'm having bolognese and I want to have it with some spaghetti, so I'm making my spaghetti now. So I just wanted to say that, and therefore the meals that I'm making today, the carbs are not included in those meals. That's my lunch, and the ragu is still simmering away in there. It's been simmering for an hour and a half already. Oh my god. I was meant to have like made at least 2 dishes by now, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go and eat my lunch, and then I'm going to come back and continue with the meal prepping. I just finished lunch, and now I'm just about to go and make a curry. So I'm actually gonna make a tuna and eggplant curry. So these are the eggplants that I baked in the oven this morning. That's 1 eggplant. And basically all the ingredients I need are right here. Cans of tuna. So I have 5 cans of tuna here. I have 2 tomatoes. I've got curry powder. Now this is a Mauritian curry powder, but feel free to use whatever curry powder you want. So I have some curry leaves here. I have a curry leaf tree in my backyard. So yeah, I just harvested those. This will definitely enhance the flavor of your curry, but it's an optional ingredient. Even if you don't have curry leaves, the curry is still gonna taste really good. These are parsley. I'm not using this in the curry, but I will be using parsley later on today. That's from my garden as well. What else do we have? I have chopped onion and garlic that I chopped this morning, salt, pepper, olive oil. Ooh, ginger. You need ginger as well. I'm gonna take the ginger out of the fridge later. But that's pretty much all the ingredients that we need to make this curry. Now I'm gonna show you some tricks, give you some tips and tricks to make your curry taste amazing, like taste really good. I had this friend who would make curry, and he thought that curry is just dump all the ingredients in, put curry powder on top and mix, and you got a curry. Sure, you can make your curry this way and it will The hell? Dishwasher. It will taste good, but there are certain ways that you can make the flavor even better. So I will show you everything. So what we're gonna need is this pan. We're gonna make the curry in a saute pan. You can use a pot as well, but this will be fine. So we're going to start by heating up some olive oil on the pan. I'm actually gonna use 2 tablespoons of olive oil today, because I'm using tuna in this dish and tuna is not super high in fat. So 2 spoons of olive oil. One way to know whether the oil is hot enough is I like to turn that around like that, and if the oil is moving around really fast, I know it's fairly hot. The other thing I do as well is I'm going to put some peppers in it, and if it starts sizzling, then I know it's hot enough. So that is sizzling here. So I know the oil is hot enough. When you cook in a stainless steel pan, you want to make sure that the oil is hot enough to prevent the content from sticking to the pan, basically. So now I'm going to add in the garlic and onion that I chopped this morning. The beef ragu has been simmering for 2 hours now, because I'm pretty sure I put it on at 12 and it's now 2 p.m. So I'm gonna add the eggplants now. So those are eggplants that I baked this morning. So I'm actually gonna use 2 eggplants in the ragu and 1 eggplant in the curry. So these are the eggplants. So I'm going to add it in the ragu now, give it a good mix. Probably going to add a little bit more red wine as well. And then I'm going to let it cook for another 20 minutes or so that the eggplant can absorb some of that flavor from the sauce. And then I'm going to turn the heat off, let it cool down, and then I'm going to divvy up into containers, and then we're going to freeze everything. Let's do that. You see? You can see, right? Good. So all that goes in. And now we give it a good mix. I'm actually not gonna put the lid back on because I want to reduce the sauce a little bit. Oh, I need to add some wine. Generally, ragu is has a pretty runny sauce though, but I don't know, I like my sauce more rich, if that makes sense, like a bit thicker. So I'm gonna reduce the sauce a little bit. So I'm not gonna put the lid back on, so you know it can reduce. So hopefully the meat, like the beef that I've used, is gonna be nice and tender as well, because it's been kind of slow cooked for 2 hours, you know, at really low temperatures. So yeah. Anyway, let's see how the tomatoes are going. Okay, looks like the tomatoes are mostly cooked. So like that. So when the tomatoes are cooked like that, it's actually time to add in the curry powder. Alright, so I'm gonna go in with 1 spoon. No, I'm gonna do 1.5. 1.5, because that's for 6 serves here. So I'm going to give this a mix, and then I'm going to let it continue cooking. So as you can see here, it's not just dumping a bunch of ingredients in a pot and then sprinkling curry powder on top and then calling that a curry. Obviously it's still gonna be tasty if you do it this way, but if you like take your time and cook everything sort of in like the oil, the flavors from the onion and the garlic and the tomatoes, all the flavors from those vegetables as well will come out into the sauce. So it adds to the flavor as well. It makes a big difference. And yeah, it's not just vegetables and curry powder. I also use onion, garlic, ginger, curry leaves. You can even put coriander in there as well. I don't have any coriander today, but you can put coriander. All these herbs will add in some flavor as well. There are certain herbs that doesn't work with curry though. You kind of have to research that. Like certain herbs like mint and basil, that those herbs don't really go with curry, but coriander or parsley or thyme, those definitely work really well in a curry. Now the tomatoes is mostly cooked. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of water in this, just a little bit. So we are gonna be adding eggplant and tuna in this as well. So those ingredients are gonna soak up a lot of the sauce. So when you make that curry, you need a little bit more water. But if you're making like a chicken curry, for example, you don't need as much water because there's nothing to soak up the water. But whenever you're using vegetables like potatoes in a curry, you need a little bit more liquid in it because of the vegetables. Currently, that's the consistency. It's still a little bit thick right now. I'm gonna add some salt. Now I'm gonna start adding the tuna in there. I'm actually going to add a little bit more coriander seeds in this just to make the curry more of a brownish color rather than a yellowish color, and I feel like it's going to enhance the flavor as well. Now I'm going to add in the eggplant as well. I'm going to give this a good mix, and then we're going to let that simmer for, I'd say, 15 to 20 minutes. The ragu is ready, so I'm just about to divvy this up in containers. And yeah, so don't let the ragu cool down in the pot. Okay, when it's still warm, when you've just cooked it, maybe wait 5 to 10 minutes so it's not super hot, but try to divvy it up into containers as soon as possible, because if you leave it into that pot here, it's going to take a lot longer to cool down, and that might not be safe in terms of, like, you know, germs and food safety and stuff like that. So I try to divvy it up while it's still hot, and I let it cool down in the containers, because that way it's going to cool down a lot quicker. So yeah, I'm just about to do that. Also, I don't really weigh the individual containers either, because I'm just going to try to do my best to equally divide it in 4 portions, and I'm just going to visually determine, like, yeah, I'm going to try to get it as equal as possible. And the way I'm going to log this into my calorie tracking app is I'm just going to go by the ingredients and how much I've put in here. Like, for example, I know I've used 1 kilogram of beef. So to work out the amount of beef per serve, I just have to do 1 kilograms divided by 8, because I'm going to be making 8 serves. And each container is going to have 2 serves. So I don't actually have enough container for everything to be in one serve, if that makes sense. So let's get into it. So the way I do it as well is I count the spoons. So I'll just go, I'll start with 1 in each one. This is looking so good, by the way. It smells really nice. Oh, damn. This has more beef than the others. So when that happens, I'll just move a beef across, because obviously you kind of want it to be sort of even. Otherwise, one day you might have more protein and then the next day you have less protein. But to be fair, it doesn't really matter that much, because it just means that one day you're going to have more protein and then the other day you have less protein, but it sort of balances out anyway, so it's not a big deal. So already I can see I've put more in here. So now let's try it. Let's do this again. So I try not to put too much of a sauce at first, so I can actually see like how much of the eggplant and the beef is actually going into the container. I'm gonna skip that because that had a lot of beef. So I'm actually going to enter this in the calorie tracking app just after I've done this. I may have some of these in 4 weeks time, you know, so by then I'm not gonna remember how much beef I've put in there, how much eggplant, how much, like, I'm not gonna remember that stuff. So what I do is I just put the meals into the app as soon as I've cooked it, so that when I do eat it in 2 to 3 weeks time, I can just log it. It's gonna be stored already on the app and I can just find the meal and just log it when I eat it. So now all I need to do is let this cool down, and then I'm going to label. Like, I'm going to put labels on it as well. Yeah, I like to do that because when it's frozen, sometimes you can't really tell like what's in the container, because like this, for example, and bolognese, they kind of look really similar. So sometimes I can't tell like what's in there when it's all frozen. Stop. Okay, so that was the alarm for the tuna curry. So tuna curry is now ready. Finally, we're finally moving. Things finally happening. So I do remember when I used to meal prep weekly, I'll have the same thing. That's the curry leaves, by the way. You can just pick it out. Yeah, I used to eat the same thing every day, and then by Thursday, I'll be bored and I'll take my food to work, but then I'll be like, oh, I don't want to eat that. I just want something else, you know, because I get bored of eating the same thing, and then I'll just end up getting something else, like driving to a shop somewhere and just buying takeaway or something. So, you know, or sometimes I'll have food already prepared for dinner and I'm like, I don't want to eat that, I'm bored. Like, the food is not even tasty, like, you know, and then you just order takeaway, even though you've already meal prepped. You already have food to eat, but you don't want to eat your own food because either it's not tasty, it's actually not very good, or you're just bored eating the same thing over and over again. I made the right choice here using the smaller containers for this, because this is just perfect. Ooh, there's too much eggplant in that one. Move that over to here. I want to put a little bit of parsley on this, give it a little bit of green. So this is a parsley from my garden. And I actually already chopped it off camera. So we have 6 serves. I'm gonna put that over here. I'm going to allow this to cool down as well. There we go. Guys, I'm so tired. So yeah, I just logged these meal in the app. I was trying to figure out like the amounts and stuff, and I did the beef ragu and I saved it. And then with the tuna and eggplant curry, I've made this before. I make this all the time. So I already had that saved in the app, but I just had to go in and make sure the quantities were the same. Quantity again. Stop. Okay, I don't know what that's for. Stop! Oh, I think that's the food finished cooling down. I tried to cool the food down for about 20 minutes. So yeah, I think it's almost time now to go and put the food into the freezer. And guys, I'm starting to crash. I'm starting to feel so tired right now. That's why I'm like on the couch right now, like lying down. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, I had to change the amounts for the tuna and eggplant curry because it's a little bit different from last time from when I made it last time, but it's really quick. I just change the amounts, save it, and it's done. Okay, now we're gonna go and continue with our meal prep. I had like a little 20-minute break, but I was like entering the stuff on the app and resting a little bit. But now it's time to continue. Okay, let's go. Oh my god, guys. I am so tired right now. It's already 4 o'clock and I still need to make 3 more meals. Actually, 2 more meals, but I'm also going to cook some pumpkin as well. I am getting really, really tired. It's taking so long, but the reason why it takes so long is because I also have to take breaks to have lunch. And right now I'm hungry. Like I'm gonna have to have a snack soon. So I'll have to take another break and have a snack. So, and also I need to clean the dishes in between each meal as well. So there's a lot of things that I'm doing as well. I'm not just cooking nonstop. I'm also doing other things as well in the background as well. But anyway, the food is currently cooling down. The ragu is ready to go. Like it's cold. The ragu is cold. It's ready to go in the freezer. The curry is a little bit warm still. So I'm going to take the ragu to the freezer first. But before I do that, I'm going to start marinating the chicken. The next meal I'm going to make, or the next dish I'm going to make, is a sort of like a stew, but with chicken. And it's actually a Mauritian dish, but it's so easy to make. It's so tasty, so easy to make. Okay, and it's kind of like a stew. As you've noticed as well, I've made all the meals that I've made today are like stew sort of dishes, like curry with sauce, ragu. So yeah, because we are in winter at the moment as well in Melbourne, it's really cold, and those sorts of food, when it's cold, it's more comforting as well. But anyway, that's what we're making. So I'm going to marinate the chicken, season and marinate the chicken. You guys know that I ran out of the I didn't run out, but the garlic was no good. So now I don't have any more garlic to use in this dish. So I'm actually going to use garlic infused olive oil. So here's a chicken. So chicken thighs. Also, no, these are called chicken thigh cutlets. So there's a bone in it. So we're not going to remove a bone. The bone is staying in. Okay, so just going to put those in those container, like in here. To marinate. And I like to marinate the chicken for about 30 minutes. All right, so this is the garlic infused olive oil that I was telling you about. So instead of using garlic, I'm gonna use this. I'm gonna go with 2 spoons of that. Oh no, oh my gosh. I've run out and I still have, okay, I should have only used one spoon, but that's okay. I've run out of it, so I need to get more. It's annoying because I still got to make the bolognese as well. All right, salt. So salt, pepper, garlic, infused olive oil. All right, so there is one more spice that you need to add in this particular stew. Like I said, this is a Mauritian dish, and if you didn't know, I am originally from Mauritius, and I cook a lot of Mauritian foods as well, like the curry, the eggplant and tuna curry. That is a Mauritian dish as well, and the curry powder I used was a Mauritian curry powder. So this is a Mauritian dish as well, but it's easy. It's easy. Don't let the Mauritian word fool you. Like, it's Mauritian cuisine is super, super easy. Also need some cloves. So we're gonna add that in now. Damn, I'm also running out of cloves. Some cloves. You need about, I kind of eyeball it because, you know, but you need about 1 teaspoon. Okay, and then we're going to mix everything. This is done. So now we let that sit for 30 minutes. And also wash your hands. If you're gonna mix chicken with your hands, you need to wash it straight away. Wash it really well with warm soapy water. Like, yeah, because you don't want to get salmonella. Yeah. Wash my hand. So while the chicken is marinating, we are going to start taking some of these meal preps to the freezer in the garage, so I can actually show you this freezer I've been talking about. We need to label them first, and then we're going to start taking those to the garage. We're going to take the ragu first. Okay, so we are going to carry these into the freezer outside. Let me check on the tuna. Tuna is still hot. That's weird. Okay, let's go. I'm one of those people who wear sandals with socks now. Welcome to the garage. Look at this mess. But the freezer is here. It's actually a pretty good freezer. Let me show you. Okay. So, oh my goodness. I actually still have some meal prep left from the previous meal prep. So, what do I have? I have a beef dish, so 2 serves. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the older stuff to the top so I remember to use those first. So that's a tuna dish, another tuna and tomato dish here. And down here I have a noodles. So I have 2 serves of these. So already here I have food for basically 6 days. So my microphone just stopped working at some stage, and I didn't even realize that this had happened until I started editing the videos, and I noticed that some videos didn't have any sound. And I apologize about that, but I didn't know that was happening at the time. So I'm going to try to do a voiceover for sections of a video where the audio is missing. You know what? We're just going to go ahead and start cooking the chicken because, you know what I mean. It's late. It is late. And I'm like really getting really tired right now. I'm so exhausted. So basically what I need to do first is cook the chicken. So brown the chicken, if that makes sense. The chicken doesn't have to be completely cooked. The outside of the chicken needs to be cooked. So we're searing it and browning the outside of the chicken. And then the chicken is going to continue cooking in the sauce, in the stew, if that makes sense. I'm also going to assume this is This is less than a tablespoon. I should have just used a tablespoon though, now that I think about it. So okay, so I know you guys can't really see what's happening in this pot anyway, it's too tall, but I'm just going to explain how to make this stew. So what I've got is the chicken that I've already browned. I have some chopped up onions, and you need some parsley, and then you need some olive oil as well. I'm going to put two tablespoons of olive oil in, and I'm going to heat up the olive oil in the stainless steel pan. And by the way, I don't use any non-stick pans anymore because it has Teflon in it, and Teflon is not healthy for you. So I've basically replaced my entire, not my entire kitchen, but all my appliances. I replaced everything with stainless steel. Okay, so my mic actually died right here, and I don't even know what I'm talking about, but I'm guessing I'm explaining what I'm actually doing since you can't really see in the pot. So I'm gonna try my best to remember what I was talking about, but I think I'm just putting some cracked pepper into the warm olive oil and let that sizzle a little bit, and then I'm going in with the chopped up onion and the parsley as well, and I'm gonna stir it in and let the onion and the parsley and the pepper sort of like cook together in the oil. And honestly, guys, I don't even know what I'm trying to explain here. Hopefully it wasn't too important, but I think here, since I'm holding this little jar of spice, I think here I'm telling you that I am adding the cloves. That is cloves. So I think I add about half a tablespoon. This is now the current consistency of the tomato, so it's like nice and cooked in here. So now we're ready to add the other ingredients. So after the onion, parsley, and the tomatoes are cooked, and the tomatoes are like really soft, now it's time to add the wine, and then I'm going to add the pieces of chicken that I've already cooked and browned on the outside, and I just place the chicken one by one in the pot. So I try to mix the tomato and the onion, like the sauce, in with the chicken as I'm adding it, because once all the chicken is inside the pot, it's a little bit hard to mix everything. And now I'm adding peas to the dish, and I believe from memory here that I was saying that you can use any vegetables that you like, provided it's not a vegetables that releases a lot of water. So for example, you don't really want to use things like pumpkin or zucchini in this dish because it's going to release too much water. But other than that, you can use whatever vegetable you like. I try not to use potatoes because I find that potatoes do not freeze very well. But I'm going to be using peas, mushrooms, canned corn, and things like that. You can even use eggplant as well, carrots. So basically whatever your favorite veggies are, you can use it in this dish. So this is some pumpkin that I've cut earlier in the week, but it did not all get cooked, and it's still really good. So I don't want these to go wasted. So I've decided to make a Okay, so here the mic stopped working again at the most important part of the video where I was actually trying to explain how to make this pumpkin dish. It's a Mauritian dish and it's so tasty and it's so easy to make as well. But it's like one of the only Mauritian dish that I'm aware of where you basically just put all the ingredients in the pot and then put it on the stove and cook it. That's how easy it is. Most Mauritian dishes are not really like that, as you've seen. But yeah, it's pretty simple with this dish. You just put the pumpkin in the pot and then you add in some olive oil. You can add some garlic as well, but I ran out of garlic and I ran out of garlic infused olive oil as well, so I just use regular olive oil. I think I use 1 tablespoon of olive oil in here. You can use ginger, onions as well, and what else? I like to use chili, so dried chilies and curry leaves as well. Now the curry leaves are optional, even the chili is optional, but I don't know, it gives the pumpkin like really nice flavor. And really important because you're cooking this, I am cooking this in a steel pan. If you cook this in a steel pan, you just need to make sure that you have water. You add water and that it's not dry. Otherwise, it might stick down the bottom because we're not preheating the stainless steel pot. So I just added a little bit of water and then I put it on the stove at very low temperature. You want to let it cook at very, very low temperature. The chicken is ready and we are going to divvy it up into these containers here. Here it is. I'm excited for this. I'm actually, now that I'm almost done with this, I'm here's the chicken stew with the vegetables, a close up. I don't know if I've already shown you a close up, and that's a pumpkin. I'm going to take a little photo now for the thumbnail. It's not stable. So just so you know, the older one are up here and the most recent one are down. So I know which one's older and which one's more recent. I should bring this inside. One of the older ones, bring it back inside so I can have it Oh, that's heavy. I'm gonna bring this. Oh, but it's heavy. Why is it so heavy? I'm meant to be a powerlifter. What it's looking like now. First shelf, top shelf, second shelf, third shelf. We still need to put the bolognese in here as well. That's the bolognese here, divvied up in 4 containers, so 2 serves per container. It smells so good, by the way.